Hey there guys, welcome back for another Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine review. This week looking at issue 14, and with this issue we get our first piece of terrain, or scatter terrain, and that is the Munitorum Container, or Armoured Container. So this comes as one complete sprue. We will be getting 3 of these throughout the magazine. I believe we actually get all 3 of them before issue 25, so they will be getting those out of the way. Yeah, with this you get one container, 3 barrels, so obviously one barrel here, and then the other one here, and also 3 containers. Now these containers are different to what they did years ago. They are actually empty bottom and they are one piece. Now years ago, if I can find my old one, so sorry about that guys, I had to grab them, but I've got these old ones. Now these are the original shipping containers. They came with a lid. Obviously I've torn the lids off. These were used as other pieces of terrain that I'm salvaging, but yeah, I think these actually look better than these ones. A bit smaller, not much difference actually, height wise they're about the same, but yeah, I actually really liked that these you could open them up and have the weapons in, or the ammo and that in, or you could put the lids on and have them look like this. Games Workshop obviously decided to just go with moulded ones. It's a shame. Luckily I've still got these 2, but yeah, this is what we now get. Still pretty cool, and we get some these storm bolters for the ends of the container there, so we get 2 of them with the mount. So yeah, armoured container. You buy these as a box of 3, so obviously for price wise I'm going to split that, divide that by 3, and that will be the cost of one of them. So your first terrain models, learn new painting skills and using terrain in your games. So here we go. Munitorum Armoured Container information. We have storm bolters. So armoured containers are often used as makeshift fortifications. Rapid firing storm bolters have been fitted to the top of this particular container. Light. These lights glow red when the container is locked and flash when its armoured exterior has been breached. We've got an access panel, then we've got the munitions crates and the Promethean barrels. So this painting episode, guys, is going to be featured on this container. Future episodes will either be the barrels and then the crates, or vice versa, or because they're super easy, it will be another Space Marine. I'm not entirely sure yet. Then for some reason we can give our container a battle record, so we can give it a container number, what cargo it's carrying, and how many storm bolters it's killed, and objectives secured. Containers make excellent objectives, and as pieces of terrain are often the focus of much fighting. Record the most exciting duels and heroic victories that occur on and around them. Okay, so use them as mission objectives. Then we have Eldari. So our first piece that isn't Necron or Space Marine based. I think we might have had something a little bit on the Chaos Gods, not too much. But yeah, another race. So the Eldari. A dying race, the Eldari have been in a long, slow decline since the cataclysmic event they refer to as the Fall. Despite their reduced numbers, however, the Eldari's grasp of psychic powers, highly advanced technology, and determination to survive make them incredibly deadly enemies. They are also as old as the Necrons and are pretty much mortal enemies of the Necrons, which is probably why they've featured them first. Now obviously we've got a little bit of the origins of the Eldari, the webway, and the webway is quite interesting. They don't use the warp to travel. They stay away from there. Obviously being a heavily psychic race, the warp is pretty dangerous to them, but they have been able to create their own passageways throughout the Munitorum that they call the webway. So they can travel almost instantly as time passes differently there. So they can go in at one end and come out maybe an hour or so later, when really they travel through the webway for days. So yeah, you've got the webway there. Craft worlds are obviously created worlds. They are huge ships, the size of planets that the Eldari live on and travel through space on these ships. How to build your container. Super simple, guys. Clip it out, file them down, smooth them out and whatever. Remove burrs and mold lines, glue them together. And they are saying to use rubber bands to hold your container, which is probably a good idea. If you're not going to do that, then you could just glue all them together and hold it for a couple of minutes and let that glue sit, and then just put it aside for another 10 minutes to bond fully. But yeah, rubber bands, they do work pretty well for things like this. As long as they're not too tight, you don't want it pushing and sort of slipping and distorting. You do want it to make sure that it's around there nice and even. And if you can find a flat surface, you could assemble it this way. Two sides on, let them glue fully, put the side on here, and then the ends. I think I may even leave one end open, something like this, so you can see inside it and just make something a little bit different. Barrels, two halves, put them together, job done. Crates, now these things are complicated. You have to clip them out and that's it. So clip crates out and they're already done. I think the old ones, they used to come, there's two sides, you'd put the sides together, then you would drop this plate in and then put the lid on. So definitely easier with this, but I do miss these. Then we've got the how to paint. Again, check my video up there. I'll be painting one of these up. And if it's a quick enough video, I may even fit in the barrels. Not sure yet, but we'll have a look. Wow, they are saying to do that super easy, aren't they? Mine's going to be a little bit more than that. I'm not doing it black. I will be doing it a little bit more like that one. But yeah, paint them whatever colour you like. So we have terrain rules. So this is the playthrough. Now again, as I'm recording this, I've not released issue or video 10 yet for issue 10. So I'm saying there's a playthrough up there. If there isn't, it's because you guys weren't enjoying them, so I didn't continue. If there is, then it's one of two things. You either enjoyed them, so I continued, or I enjoyed making them, so I continued. Either way, check the card, see if there's something there. We will flick through it quickly, just in case there isn't. So using terrain models. So moving over terrain. Models move up and across the container, A and B. So moving vertically. Start and then up. I got it. So if you can move your 6 inches, I think it's all intercessors of 6 inches, but you say you move 2 inches forward, 2 inches up, and 2 inches across, you include this. You don't get to go 2 inches and then 4 inches. You include the height. Most terrain is counted at a height of 2 inches per floor for buildings and stuff. So yeah, you will typically move up, including that height. Obstacles, so terrain 1 inch or less, you can move through it as though it isn't there. So you don't count the vertical movement, you just move straight through as though it's not there. But you can still use it, I think, for cover. Obviously, we'll check that in a second. Vertical unit coherency. So in order to be in unit coherency, units must be set up and finish any sort of move as a single group, with all models within 2 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically. So this guy here is within the 5 inches, assuming these are just over 2 inches tall. He could technically be stood on one higher and he would be out of unit coherency. If they're 2 inches tall, then he could be stood on another one and still be within it, because it doesn't say wholly within 5 inches. And if you count his base and his feet as part of that, he's within 5 inches of the rest of them. I mean, they're counting this guy's base within 2 inches. So, yeah. And then vertical engagement range. The Necron Warrior is within 1 inch horizontally and 5 inches vertically. So he is within engagement range. So they're now saying 5 inches. So you've got the 1 inch base to base or 5 inches high. He's within that. So he's within the engagement range. So yeah, playthrough for this one is to secure the supply drop. Visibility and shooting. So you go from what you can see. This guy can see both of them, the assault intercessors, but the other guy can't. And then going through the playthrough, obviously we got the Necrons taking advantage of that elevation. They are technically not in unit coherency there, or is that a Royal Warden? I can't tell. Who do we have? It is just the Warriors. So, technically, this, going by the rules, now this is okay because we're following these rules, but in 9th edition, this guy is not within 2 inches of this guy. He may be, but because they're base contact. But if he is not, this guy on the end can't be here. He would have to be down here. The rule is every model has to be within 2 inches of 2 other models. So this guy as well is definitely not, because he's 2 inches of this guy, but he's not 2 inches and 5 inches of this guy here. So bit of a thing with unit coherency as they're explaining it here, but I'm assuming as we work into it and they work on unit coherency more, then they'll say that you can't do this and you have to be a little bit more organised. Moving through brings us to the end of the issue. Moving on, right here are the prices of the container and the issue and savings. It's only going to be a few pounds, not too much, but there you go. Flayed ones in issue 15. So next week, or next week's video, these have already come out at the time you're watching this. Hopefully we all managed to get a few extra copies. I'm hoping Hatchet did the thing they are not known for and made sure there were plenty of extra issues, because these would have sold like hotcakes. Definitely a huge value. They are a new model, or an upgraded to the older ones, so they are a new model and they are pretty cool. So hopefully I managed to get an extra couple of issues. If not, I'm gutted, because I think they are close to £30 or just over £30 for the 5 of them, so a huge saving on that. But there you go. Issue 16, we get the other 5 assault intercessors, and again you can set one up to be a sergeant and have 2 units of 5. They've done him here as a sergeant but with a heavy bolt pistol, so he can be used with the 10, and just say that he's a normal guy because his helmet doesn't count. If you put a plasma pistol on him as well, you will have to let your opponent know that it's just a heavy bolt pistol. But there it is, the end of the episode, guys. Thank you ever so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you are not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Please do both if you can, guys. It helps the channel grow, works with YouTube's algorithm, and lets me know what I'm doing right and that you guys are enjoying them. If you have recently subscribed, then thank you ever so much. A huge warm welcome to the inner circle to you. Thank you for your support. But until next time, guys, take it easy. Keep painting those minis.